Achieved.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Studio Day Heffrey, Day Quarantine. It's nice to see you. Remember, every day I'm looking for content, trying to create content for you, trying to keep us all going in the quarantine, but I need your help. Whatever you want to talk about tomorrow, make sure you leave it in the comments on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Thank you. And check 1053thefan.com every day. All right, so today what we're going to talk about is the rumblings are becoming closer to official, it sounds like, as I saw Michael Gelkin from the Dallas News today talking about two sources saying that, yes, Chido changing positions is a possibility for the Dallas Cowboys. Chidobe Awuzie. So I think this makes sense, and I want to go all the way back to when he was drafted. I had Chido as a fourth-round cornerback prospect because I didn't love the way that it looked when he played man coverage. His problem, and hat tip to my buddy John Owning, I believe he was the first one to do a nice little Twitter thread on it. Chido's struggles last year, he wasn't a bad cover guy. He was really struggling when his back was to the ball to compete at the catch point. So, you get a guy who's running vertically and you're turned around and you've got to be able to locate the football and make a play on the ball. Well, one, the coaching staff was telling them don't locate the football, just play through the receiver's hands, which is dumb. And two, he just wasn't able to make plays in some of those situations. So this makes a lot of sense to me because I watched Chido at Colorado play corner and safety, lining up in the nickel. And I think if you just take away having his back to the ball, you might give him a chance to be a better player. Get him at one of those safety spots where everything is happening in front of him and he's playing forward and he can see the quarterback as opposed to back to the ball. And I think Chido has a chance to be a better player. So I would not be surprised at all if that turns out to be the case, that Chido is going to be playing safety because they're up to 9 corners on the roster, I believe. And this leads to another thing that I really like. So they got too many corners, and the idea is being floated, hey, what about Chido at safety? Well, who's starting at safety? Is it Xavier Woods and Clinton Dix? Are you moving Chido to safety and he's a backup? I like when you get a new coaching staff for this reason. They don't care. We go to camp every year. And every year that we go to camp, I can tell you the 22 starters. And I can tell you the primary backup for every starter. It's easy. It's done. When we go to camp, I can give you 50 of the 53 dudes that are going to make the team. Maybe 51 every year. This year will be different because you have a new coaching staff. Some of these guys are your old special teams coach. He fought for that guy. Some of these guys, Rod Marinelli, he fought for that guy. Somebody was a Garrett guy. A lot of these guys, they're locked into their positions because there's somebody that I believe Broadus would refer to it as a sponsor. Somebody's their sponsor. So this year you're going to get to camp, and they're going to look around, and they're going to go, okay, Trayvon Diggs, how you doing? Nice to see you. And Reggie Robinson, our rookies, all right, good to see you guys. Hey, Anthony Brown, nice to meet you. Chido, Jordan Lewis, nice to meet you. Hey, Daryl Worley, welcome to the team, nice to meet you. Maurice Kennedy, what up? CJ Goodwin, hey, I'm just going through corners right now, right? And they don't care who wins the job. They don't care. It'll be whoever earns it. So if it's true that Chido is moving to safety, it'll be HaHa's here, Woods is here, Donovan Wilson's here, and Chido's here. And we're going to practice, and we don't care who wins. We're going to put the best players on the field. That's the way that one's going to play out. And so projecting their depth chart is tough because I don't know who wins those battles. I can talk about who's played well when given the opportunity and who's struggled when given the opportunity. But everybody's got their ups and downs. And with a brand new coaching staff, they don't have the commitment to these guys that the old one did. If the old coaching staff was here, they would show up and you would have, Byron's gone. So you would run out Chido, go line up where you always line up. Anthony Brown, there you are. You're in the slot. Jordan Lewis, stand right behind Anthony. Or maybe because Byron's gone, maybe one of you gets to start now. And all right, rookies, get in where you fit in. But a new coaching staff changes everything. New defensive coaching staff. There are very few sponsors now. Maybe the rookies are the guys who have the biggest advantage because now the coaching staff does have a vested interest in the fact that, hey, we brought these guys in. Let's see them succeed. So Chido potentially moving to safety makes it sound more and more to me like Trayvon Diggs. They're thinking can come in and win a job and be one of your starting outside corners. And maybe the other one is Darryl Worley, your free agent signing. Maybe that's your two outside corners. Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis, you guys keep battling for the slot job, and off we go. So the other guy whose name is in the news lately as a potential position change is Jaylon Smith. How did Jaylon play last year? Okay. If you think he's not a capable NFL player, you're wrong. If you think that he's an elite linebacker, you're wrong. He was okay. So how do you put him in the position to succeed the most? Because now the rumor is maybe Jaylon's moving to another linebacker spot. Well, let me ask you this. Which one is that? Because if he's going for middle linebacker and he's going to change positions, my initial inclination based on what he does well is, gosh, I could go either way. Are you going to the strong side spot where you can get him up towards the line of scrimmage and you can rush the passer more? Because that's probably what he does best. Or are you moving him to Leighton Vander Esch's weak side linebacker spot where you can try to keep him clean and just get him running in the run game? He's good at that part of it as long as nobody cuts back on him. I don't know. See, I can't imagine, and I know I just did a spiel on how it's a brand new coaching staff and they don't care, but the organization has a vested interest in Jaylon Smith. They just paid him. I can't see, until somebody proves it to me, I can't see Jaylon Smith's new role being Sam linebacker who plays 15% of the snaps and a guy who comes in to rush some, so maybe he gets up to 20, 25% of the snaps. For a guy who never came off the field basically last year, I can't see it that they're going to take him off the field. And then what? Trust Sean Lee and his health? Or Joe Thomas? That's the one that's interesting to me. I don't know that you have the bodies to take him off the field a lot, but we'll see what happens. So there you go. That's your potential position changes. The breaking news of potential position changes today on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, other things that people left comments and wanted to talk about. Curtis, he said, would like to hear your thoughts on the undrafted free agents we signed. All right. Undrafted free agents. You never know until you get to camp. Somebody could jump out at you and be a better player than you knew about coming in. And I haven't seen tape on all of these guys, but I have on some of them. Names that I think are worth watching. Rondell Carter, the defensive end from James Madison, because of his production. I don't have the number in front of me, but I think he had like 27 tackles for loss last year. So it hurt him that there was no combine and no pro day for him, because with that production, if he would have tested okay, he gets drafted. So now the Cowboys did guarantee a bunch of these guys a good amount of money, so probably more than I've ever seen for them with a draft class, a whole bunch of guys getting $100,000 guaranteed. The other name to keep an eye on, I think, is Francis Bernard, the linebacker from Utah. So he got kicked out of BYU, honor code stuff, ends up at Utah, and so he's an older prospect, but he had tape to be drafted in the 4th round, give or take. Everything I hear, and a lot of this comes from my buddy Dane Brugler, where he talks to NFL scouts, is that once he got to Utah, you saw signs of maturity, and he was never a problem. Sort of team leader kind of guy. So Francis Bernard's a name to keep an eye on because he easily could have been drafted. Azur Kamara is a guy from the University of Kansas that was a 1-year starter. So check this out. He's the word everybody throws around. Oh, he's a great athlete. He might not be a great athlete because the vertical jump was bad. The broad jump wasn't good. The shuttles weren't great. But here's what he does bring to the table. 6'3", 245, 35 1/4 inch arms. So your long arm guys, like a lot of people as for a pass rusher, want your arms to be 33 inches or longer. 35 and a quarter is absurd. That's a long dude. Even though at 6'3", he's not tall for the position, that's a long dude who ran a 4.59 at the combine. So that's tools. That's traits. That's what we talk about when we say you're drafting traits. If he'd have got picked in the 7th round, it would be because 35-inch arms, 4.59. Production at Kansas wasn't great. Not a refined football player yet, but runs super fast, and he's a 250-pounder with long arms. Heyo. Is there any other names to keep an eye on? I didn't see this guy on the list of guys that got a bunch of guaranteed money, but I like Luther Kirk, the safety out of Illinois State, from the tape I was able to get on him. Shrine Game defensive MVP in the All-Star circuit leading up to the draft. So Ladarius Hamilton, the North Texas edge, Stephen Guidry, the Mississippi State receiver, Rico Dowdle, the running back from South Carolina. I haven't seen all of them, but keep an eye on Rondell Carter and Francis Bernard. How about that? James Madison and Uto. What else do the people want to talk about today? Sire, he wanted to talk about the UDFAs as well. Which draft picks you believe could win a job in training camp and which guys could be a starter by the end of the year, from Dave. Now, if Chido's moving to safety, I believe that Trayvon Diggs can win a starting job in camp. CeeDee Lamb's going to win a starting job in camp, of course. So that's 2. Neville Gallimore, I don't think will win a starting job because Gerald McCoy exists. I think you're hoping that Neville Gallimore is the future at 3 technique and a rotational guy right now. If Reggie Robinson wins a starting job in camp, now you're cooking with your rookie class. If you get your 3 of your first 4 draft picks starting going into the year, now we're cooking with bacon grease. Tyler Biadasz, the Wisconsin center, fully healthy now. What if he wins the starting job? What if this turns into that Saints draft where they brought in, who all was it? It was like Marcus Williams and was that the Marshawn? No, that was after the Marshawn Lattimore draft. Was that the Michael Thomas draft? Whatever. But 1 year of having where it's like, oh my God, they got 3 Pro Bowlers in this draft, and it happens right away, that can change your win total in a season by 2 or 3 wins. If suddenly you're like, hey guys, this draft we got 5 starters and 3 of them are going to play at a Pro Bowl level. Woo! Starter by the end of the year. Anybody else? I guess Bradley Anai has an opportunity for that, depending on who's reinstated and is Tyrone Crawford a defensive end for this team, which I think he is. So I don't think he could be a starter by the end of the year. But if he could be a big contributor, that would be really nice. Oh, and of course, Ben DiNucci, the quarterback, he'll win the starting job in camp, right? Dak's terrible. I know you people think. There are people out there that think that. I want you to know that I see you. You are not hidden from me. I'm aware of you. Any possibility of Robinson or Chido being moved to safety from DeLunatic? Yes. Sounds like Chido maybe. And Robinson, I don't think so, but we'll see. Maybe they view him as a free safety prospect. We just got to get to camp. We need sports. I need sports. Do we need to adjust expectations given they may not have the same type of offseason prep rookies normally get from Cam? No, I don't think so. From a learning perspective and not being able to be on the field with teammates, I do think it'll be a little bit tougher. But they'll have enough time, and hopefully, especially for the corners, what we're seeing is true, that they're about to play a whole bunch of press coverage. Whether they're in man or cover 3, they're about to get up in your face, wide receivers, and say, hey, your timing's getting jacked up and you're being challenged. Sky High wants to know about the breakdown of the defensive end we grabbed in the 5th from Utah and the value we got. Yeah, I had him as a 3rd-round grade on Bradley and I. Got him in the 5th. Tested as a bad athlete at the combine, but doesn't play like a bad athlete. Good with his hands, wins to the punch, 13 sacks, plays super hard. And I's an NFL player. A lot of 5th-rounders aren't going to make teams. He's going to make the team. And I's a good player. Best guess, what does our dime package look like in week 1? Holy cow, Wes. 6 DBs, all right? Our dime package looks like this. Trayvon Diggs, Xavier Woods, Anthony Brown, Clinton Dix, Chido, Daryl Worley, and maybe Jordan Lewis takes one of those people's spots, whether it's that third safety that's on the field, maybe it's Clinton Dix's spot, maybe it's Woods' spot, maybe it's Brown's spot, maybe it's Worley's spot. I don't know, and I love it. I love that I don't know. It's amazing. Let's see. Are they going to get Dak done before the season? This is Christopher. Hear anything about Cowboys signing any free agents? I hope they still sign free agents. I hope they sign just a monster defensive end because they got the money to do it. And why not? Go win the Super Bowl. Expectations for Tony Pollard. I do think they'll get the Dak deal done before this. Oh, wait, no, they can't. Wait, they still can now. I'm getting my deadlines mixed up. He's tagged, but the contract deadline for the tag is not passed. So, yeah, I'll say they get a deal done with Dak, but I have no idea. Expectations for Tony Pollard this year. I hope he gets more involved. And I know everybody thinks that I hate Zeke. Zeke's a good player. Pollard averaged almost a full yard more per carry, and I think he's a little bit more versatile as far as he's the guy I want catching running back routes even over Zeke. And Zeke is a good receiver. He's a good receiving running back, but the difference is the amount of people you can make miss and the amount of tackles that you break. Tony Pollard's towards the very top of the league, and Zeke is towards the very bottom amongst NFL starters when it comes to being evasive and breaking tackles. So I like Zeke. Zeke has value. But I also like Pollard, and I think he was criminally underused. When the results are better when the other guy is getting the ball, get the other guy the ball more. And I'm not saying that if Tony Pollard got 250 or 300 carries, that one, he could handle it, or two, that he would still average a full yard better than Zeke per carry. But I'm saying he deserves more opportunities for sure. So make that happen, coaching staff. And I think that they will. Let me see here. Any part of the roster you're still unsure about? That is from Mason. Let me see. Corner, there's enough guys to have competition and depth to where I'm okay with what they've got at corner. Linebacker I'm unsure about because I don't trust Sean Lee health-wise to play an entire season, and I don't know where they're going to put Jaylon. Broadus did say he's heard some rumblings that Leighton may be your – not necessarily your middle linebacker, but that Leighton will now be calling the defenses instead of Jaylon. He's got the neck. Jalen's got the change of direction struggles with the leg. Sean Lee's got the long-term health issues. So linebacker I'm unsure about. Safety is still not going to be great, I don't think. I don't think is going to make people super excited. I don't know what Chido looks like at safety, and my guy Xavier Woods has got to stop freelancing. Wide receiver's great. They don't have the depth there, but wide receiver's great. Tight end's okay. If you wanted to add a guy, I'd be cool with adding a tight end, but I don't want you to add a guy that gets in Jarwin's way. Let my guy get his shine on. The offensive line is fine, and you got depth there. Quarterback's fine. Running back's fine. So I feel good about this team. I really do. And their record in one-score games last year, that won't repeat itself. So this is probably a 10 or 11-win team. And if they don't achieve that, then we should all be disappointed. And we should be really upset at people. If you get sports upset, that is. All right, remember, leave comments on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. And let me know what you want to talk about tomorrow. Check 1053thefan.com, and I'll see you on the radio.